Mohammed again, and I wanted to just elaborate on the previous ketogenic diet, and I wanted to be sure to tell you guys that hopefully everybody understands what and did their research about the ketogenic diet, but I did want to elaborate some more as to what it exactly is, and to help out, just so you can get a gist of it. I don't want to make it seem like it's that huge of a change, because to be honest with you, it really is not. Once you put it in understanding, you actually start to see the changes. I mean, it's very easy. Now, just to get started, we understand that the ketogenic diet is a 70% protein, 70% saturated fats, 25% protein, and 5% net carbs. What does that mean exactly? Let's say you're on a 1,000-calorie diet. Now that you know that your body needs 1,000 calories, and I'm saying needs 1,000 calories, and I'm using 1,000 just so you get an understanding. Well, that means that 700 of those 1,000 calories need to be from saturated fats and oils. 250 need to be from proteins, and 50 need to be from carbs. Now, the best way to focus on that carbs, just to get that 50 calories, is to understand the density in the carb, and you're going to be choosing between 1 and 5 vegetables. Just for example, cauliflower has 15 grams of carbs per half of a head of cauliflower. That could literally be your entire your entire day's worth, give or take. That you actually have some carbs in the other meals, and also your breakfast, just as an example, could be 4 pieces of bacon, two eggs fried, and also you can have your a little handful of spinach. They really don't use spinach as a carb, but I believe there's like 1 gram in there, but it's not really counted, and that's actually a pretty good breakfast for yourself. For lunch, now I would recommend you go for a ground beef. It doesn't necessarily have to be, just to kind of get yourself rolling in there. Now, when we choose ground beef, we like to go for the more leaner items, 93%, 97% lean. With the ketogenic diet, you actually want to go for less, 80%, 80 to 20 lean. Ground beef is good. Now, they say grass-fed, and it really is important. We need to know where this meat is coming from, and also, if you were to just get a piece of steak, it would be considered marbled. With that being said, now you have yourself a burger patty, and I would recommend using something like mushrooms. You can use a portobello mushroom top, which is about that big, about the size of a hamburger bun. Use 2 of them. Bake them in the oven. Make sure you put some olive oil on the pan, because you know that this is all considered saturated fat, and good quality saturated fat. With that being said, boil your cauliflower at that point. Make sure it's nice and mashed up. Put some olive oil in it. Put whatever you like, garlic in it. Something that's not going to really add any additive sugar. You're going to actually want this in your lunch. Now you're on. So now you have your lunch. You have your breakfast. What are you going to have for dinner? Asparagus. Perfect. Another piece of steak, or you can use something like chicken wings. Remember, we're not removing the skin here. So if you don't, you will have that, you'll start to fill in that 70% saturated oils, and the fat from the skin of a chicken is actually very good for you. So your caloric intake, and we've already talked about it being 1,000 just for example's sake. And if ever you're on any diet, you do want to know what your normal caloric intake is, because you want a starting point. With that being said, with the ketogenic diet, it is very, very helpful, and it's actually very, you'll be much more successful if you understand how much calories you need as a person, as a human, as with your level of activity, whether you have activity or you don't. You need to know how much calories your body needs to function. With that being said, also do your research on the carbs in vegetables. And you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna notice that you need between 1 and 5. Choose 1 and 5 vegetables. Some of us don't like vegetables. Hopefully I reach those people and let them know that vegetables are very important in your life. The ketogenic diet has no carbs. There is no starch. There is no rice. There is no bread. And like I was saying previously in my first video, it's very important to make that decision that you either want it or you don't, because you don't want to cycle back and forth to normal metabolism, which requires carbs and sugars, to ketogenic, which means no sugars, no carbs, and solely relying on saturated fats and body fat for energy. I believe that everybody that does the diet will be very happy. Now, with me saying that, check with your doctors. Make sure that your liver is functioning properly. If you're a diabetic, definitely check with your doctor, because this is truly what's going to help you. To understand that there's just some foods that you're not going to be able to have is going to calm you down more. But the benefits are really, really through the roof, and they'll continue to motivate you, because you'll feel great about the diet the entire time. You'll start to become thinner. You'll really get down to your goal, and optimally, your health, your mental status, your focus, just your image to yourself, you know, your actual motivation, you'll just start to feel amazing. And that's the real reason why I believe in ketogenic diet. I believe it'll help numbers of people. And if you have any questions about it, please feel free to comment, you know, email me, let me know how I can help you. I will be starting the ketogenic diet here soon. I'm trying to gather up as much information, because it is an actual change. It's a very important one for that. And it's a very serious one. What I mean is, it starts in the grocery store, it starts in the kitchen. You know, it starts from the grocery store to the kitchen, to the stove, to your table, to actually eating it. And if you're a family person and you have family, loved ones that you feed or things like these, they're going to feel that difference. And if everybody can understand that the health benefits in it, maybe they would come along with you as well. Now, do not recommend this diet to anybody that you feel cannot handle it. Like, our parents, if our parents are a little bit older and we want them, let's say that they have some sort of an illness like diabetes or cirrhosis of the liver, or something that we want to help them with, joint pain, arthritis, things like these, it would help them, but it would also harm them if you're not 100% sure that they'll follow a routine. Teach them, maybe sit with them for a week, going through exactly what you've learned, and perfect it. It's not something that's impossible to do. It's very, very doable, and I think you'll enjoy the results as well. Well, this was video 2, and I'll be continuing some more information as I progress into the ketogenic diet. My next video, I'll be falling into ketosis, so stay tuned. All right, bye-bye.